Hello guys, welcome to the channel. This video we're going to be working on a Squier Affinity strap. It's manufactured in December of 2000. I picked this up off Goodwill for a decent price. Kind of really dirty but complete in relatively good condition. It's an Arctic white color. Arctic white was available from 97 to 2003. The C-neck shape to it. Alder body 40 millimeters thick. Medium jumbo frets, 9.5 radius fretboard. 40.6 millimeter nut width. 60s large headstock. They sold for around $200. So I've already stripped this one down and cleaned it up, and we're gonna majorly upgrade this thing. So, hope this is something you're gonna be interested in. The first thing that I'm gonna replace is this stock pickguard. And as you can tell by the shape it's in, the whole guitar was pretty much this dirty. But this is just your standard 1-ply circuit board printed switch, typical pickups. Although these pickups do look better than most, dime size pots. We're getting rid of that. What we're going back with is this mint green pickguard. And if you'll notice, if a light will allow, there's something a little bit different about this pickguard. Something just a little bit different. Okay, what we're going to be putting in this is, and I hope that'll show up, these are fat pickups. They're the fat little wings, hand-wound pickups made here in the United States. We're going to be putting those in. We've got 3 CTS pots. Got a .047 cap and a Fender 3-way switch. And all of it's got the old pushback wire. So that's what we're going back with. We're putting something in here that costs more than what I paid for the guitar. But you can also pull this right out and put it in a custom shop Strat if you wanted to. So that's going to be, the biggest improvement we make right there. Okay, the next thing we're going to do for an improvement is we're getting rid of the stock trim with the little zinc and thin block. Getting rid of it. These don't work really well because of this edge. That's why these don't stay in tune very well. So what we're replacing it with is and I hope this light's going to show a GFS steel block trim. And you can tell the edge of it, how much better the edge of these two trims, if I can hold them up shakily. But this one's got a whole lot better edge on it. And the way the holes are made, everything's a lot more precision. We got our old style my mind went blank. Anyway, we got our old style, whatever they're called, the things the strings go in. Saddles, there you go, saddles. Got our old style saddles, big old heavy steel block, so that's going to be an improvement. Okay, on the neck, what I've already done is I've went in and leveled the frets, rounded filed the fret ends, rounded them off, kind of rounded the edge of the fretboard some, makes a big difference. Okay, and I got a bone nut installed. And I've got my little logo on there I'm playing with. I had a guy make me some of these, and I just wanted to try it out and see. You can see how rough this neck is. It hadn't been sanded since I clear coated, but it's temporary. So I was just playing around with this temporarily to see on this, but it's had the real white finish on it, kind of not finished look the way they come. In fact, I left a place here. You can see how white that was originally, how raw looking. Put a little bit of stain, a little bit of clear on it, and I hadn't even sanded the clear. This was most likely going to be taken down and nitro sprayed, because I mean, you got a Affinity Squier, it needs to have a nitro finish. I mean, that's just straight. So we're going to change the tuners up on this. We're going to be using putting a set of Cluson from all parts, kind of the old style tuners on. In order to do that with the bigger holes, got a set of converter bushings to go in there to take place of that. So really, basically, that's what we're going to do. We're using the body, the neck, all the hardware, electronics, everything's going to be changed. But I think it's going to turn out really cool. So anyway, let's get started on this thing. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and install the tremolo, which really isn't a whole lot to that. Just stick it in here, put the screws in. Like I say, this came from Guitar Fetish. They've got a lot of different ones when they're in stock. Seems like they're having a real issue right now. A lot of stuff I'm needing to get, they don't have right now for whatever reason. But just make sure that you order the right one, because there's differences in the, of course, the American Strat. There's a difference in the Mexican Strat. I mean, make sure you get the right one. And with these bodies here, you want to get like the 36 millimeter block in depth, because this is a 40 millimeter body. This is actually, I think, is 39, but it's good enough. It's, I don't use a back plate on a Strat anyway. But you got to measure between your holes. Look at their little diagram, check it all out, because there's so many variations. These all look the same, but they're not. This is going to make a big difference totally in this thing, as far as how it sounds, the sustain, everything. So I'm going to go ahead, adjust these screws, put the springs in the back. Okay, something I run into quite often with these, and this one's no different, is a little bit of a clearance issue back here. I mean, it actually fits, but it's too tight. I mean, even just by the thickness of the paint, it's just a little bit tight. But I have the power, so I'm going to drop this back out, clean a little bit of that off, more or less the thickness of the paint, just so we have real good clearance there. We don't have no rubbing, no binding. Okay, now we're really free. No issues at all. Like I say, it took very little to, more or less just the thickness of the finish just to free that up. So that's all there was to that. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of the screws back in and hook up the springs. Okay, so we got everything set up on the back, and I know the first thing you're going to say, you only got two springs, and then they're hooked up wrong. These springs are extremely stout that come with these Wilkinson trims, or the Guitar Fetish trims are really strong springs, which I've got other springs, but I've got another guitar with this very same trim in it that I'm able to run two springs without, and have a good action, no tuning problems, nothing. So I'm going to try this. The reason I run them at an angle is because most people watching this channel also watch Dave's World of Fun stuff, and Dave hates this. So that's the only reason I do that. So anyway, there we go. We've got, besides having sawdust and paint dust and probably lead and who knows what, we got that done. So let's move ahead with our Pickguard, get it set up. Actually kind of proud of that after the last one I done. This one turned out pretty neat. I almost put the Gilmore mod in since I'm using a 3-way switch. I can come back and do that real easy if I decide to. That way, if you do that, you actually can use, your neck and your bridge at the same time, but also you can use your neck and middle at the same time. So you're only really losing one position using that mod. And I'll come back and do that if I decide to later. So let me get this slipped in there. Okay, got our Pickguard on. All the screws in it, tested it out, everything's working fine. So now I've got to hook up our ground wire back here on the back. If I can get hold of it. And it's don't need to be that long. Okay. All right, we got a good solder on that. So, okay, that's our body pretty well taken care of. We got our big steel block in, new trim, new Pickguard, and so we're getting close there. We've got new trim, new pickups, new electronics, new switch. We're getting there. So that's a good start on it. we'll just keep this video pretty short. We'll do the neck. The next video, maybe finish everything up. So, anyway, I hope this was educational, enjoyable, entertaining, and everything. So, give me a thumbs up. If you hadn't subscribed, consider subscribing. Appreciate all you guys that are subscribed. Means a whole lot to know what I'm doing is worthwhile. So until the next time, see you.